You want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, the other one's not here.
Do we have any extra ones about people?
I didn't bring any.
I got one. It's on front and back, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's front and back.
I'm gonna make some copies. I'll be right back.
Go ahead, Chief. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, the copy you have is probably missing some information, but I'll fill that in as we go along. For November statistics, 1,275 calls, 125 offense reports, 40 arrests, 39 accidents, and 71 citations. Overtime I was not able to obtain until today, but for last month we used $19,125 in overtime, and year to date $135,400. And last but not least, I thought I'd give it the old college try. The commemorative items I brought up the past couple of months. I've been called a wheeler dealer, and I've been called a lot of things, but I'm willing to submit to you folks that if we reduce the amount, if it would be a little more palatable, if we only obtain the photo and the badges, I would need $4,000. We had some pretty kind folks offer to make the adhesive emblems for us, and that's certainly saved us a lot of money. And I did turn back in $300 of my uniform allowance. So if you want to count that, that's from me. Anyway,
That's a good start.
that's down from 6,000.
And it was reduced by how?
Well, the Goodwins helped out considerably with adhesive emblems, because the vinyl and the installation certainly aren't cheap, nor is the product. I thought I'd throw that in. But anyway, that was a very kind gesture, and regardless of anything else, we'd certainly be proud to wear those emblems on our automobiles and our maybe in our lobby. But you know, the badges aren't that expensive. It's the dye fee is $700. It's a one-time fee, but this is a fairly well-known, I don't know what you call them. They make badges and gifts and pins and things of that sort. So I guess you could see it as an investment. If we were to order anything else from this company, we wouldn't have to pay a dye fee for the the Heath seal. Forgot where I was.
Would they be willing to pay for any of it?
The officers?
You know, Gehenna.
Oh, Gehenna doesn't walk for anything.
Better than wait, let's try.
Yeah.
You mentioned their names. So I thought maybe.
Well, we spent 25 years there, so sometimes it's a slip of the tongue. So anyway.
Comments
Well,
from anybody?
the current 6,000 is stable right now.
Right.
So before we would have to do something or readjust or whatever.
Well, I guess the one point I'd make is that it'll be 2013 in a few short days, and I don't know what the turnaround time is. to make these items. Not that that's that important, but
And there again, too, I think one of the reasons of tabling it is just following on that defeat, and just kind of let a little bit of time go between the defeat and spending of this kind of money. And I guess, I'd still kind of like to drag my feet just a little bit, and not give the perception of, well, I mean, I agree with it being a good project and something we need. But I guess I'm personally would like just to drag my feet just a little bit. That's one person's opinion. Six
understood.
others to go.
I should mention that Mrs. Goodwin was kind enough to not only donate the adhesive emblems, but to speak with some other business owners in her network and see if some other companies could help.
How did that go?
I made a couple contacts. I started with Tri-County, our favorite,
Sure.
of course, and didn't get to talk to Tim personally, but I got the door open over there, so I'll go back and talk to them. And was working on the other one down at the other end here. Also Matthews.
The other one, you mean like Cosmo?
Coughlin,
Okay.
being new. I was starting with car dealers first. But,
Yeah.
I was also going to talk with Jay. Dwayne used to do some work for Jay, so I thought, with them coming on board maybe.
Yeah.
And he
Well,
did me
John
a nice.
Hinderer, I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard that he's a fairly philanthropic
Yeah,
guy.
and he sponsors the Shea House, I think. So I was going to talk to him too. He was on my target list. So unfortunately, my weekend's been a little full, so I haven't gotten back to anybody yet today. But I think they're definitely on board. I just don't know the figure yet. So I'm hoping to have something more to tell you next Monday when I come in with
Okay.
hopefully some meat on the bones.
And I think too, in an effort like that to have businesses assist with this, any kind of visibility that it offers to the business, then it's a further justification for them to try to help.
Right.
We have to keep that in mind too, that
Yeah.
if there are going to be businesses or people or any groups or whatever that help to fund this, they should somehow be recognized in a
I agree.
visible manner.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. And yeah, we pay that dye fee, we could probably have some plaques made.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the last discussion we had, if memory serves me, we talked about trying to get that kind of support up front and then
Yeah.
getting the money, because I think
Sure.
that we are all are feeling the way Dick is, that just coming off of that defeat, even though it's a small amount of money, we're being criticized like we don't need the money already, and if we start spending money on things that aren't necessary, plus the concern for, can we do these kinds of things for other departments? If we set a precedent, if we want to be able to do it for one, we should be able to recognize the efforts in other departments that are doing good things. So, that's my 2 cents.
Oh, I understand it completely, but,
And I know 50 years only comes once, we talked about that too, but, I think that maybe,
I'm sure you've got a list of financial friends in the police department beyond what we've already discussed.
I got a lot of
Citizen
enemies.
Citizens Academies, I mean, some of these block watch folks that are pro Police Department, I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah.
There's gotta be some
Yeah.
pro Heath Police people that are very supportive
Sure.
of the efforts that you guys do, whether it's false alarms, the banks, maybe they can help with the things you do to them with silent alarms and false alarms. Just an outreach. I think you can probably get some private donations to really make this a non-issue for us. I hope so.
Okay.
Contact her, call you.
He's the other one I talked to from the mall.
Oh,
So, and Elder
who did you talk to at the mall?
Well, that's,
Oh.
I was talking to him about
Oh.
who to talk to at the mall.
Oh, I
so,
can get you in touch with the manager.
Yeah, well, I was talking to the Elder Beerman.
She was there today, but she was quite busy and she didn't have time to talk with me, but I'm there all day tomorrow, so. I'll go ahead and
Tim,
sort
a
that.
question for the mayor. How did we do the fireworks every year because, you know, we had people donate to it, but we were on the hook for $11,000 for fireworks, whether we got any donations or not. Well, we didn't pass each year. We never passed the thing saying we would pay for the fireworks or not. Did it come out just out of the park's budget?
Correct. Out of the fireworks, I believe would have come out of John Gross.
Out of John Gross.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was just budget.
And then checks donating for Star Spangled, I think if memory serves, those checks are made out to Star Spangled Celebration Committee.
And they just get. I guess what I was trying to figure out is if there's a way we could let the chief go ahead and get the order in, and then as the money comes in or doesn't come in, to pay for it. I mean, you know,
we could do that, but then we get back to the idea of, are you more likely to get the contribution if you already have the stuff? Or are you more likely to get the contribution if you don't yet have the stuff, and you're needing that
that's like
contribution
the fireworks.
to get the stuff?
It's kind of like the fireworks. I mean, you're obligated to the fireworks before you ever get a dime coming in.
That's true.
And then people still give money for fireworks. So
That's true. That's
I
true.
guess I'm just saying on a time. I mean, like I said, if we'd have done this 6 months ago, it would have been a done deal, and we probably would have done more than 6 times. We'd probably been about $8,000 or $10,000
Timing sucks. Right?
and everything. And there's, you know, I mean,
Well, what's the possibility of you finding that out and then next Monday before we go into council, finding out whether we pull it off the table?
well, it's
Yeah.
not.
Can't we?
It's not officially on the
amend it by
table.
changing
We
the
just
amount?
pulled the thing.
The ordinance was pulled. We
Yeah, the
didn't
ordinance was
table
pulled.
it.
It's never been introduced.
Well, we didn't.
Oh, that's
We
right.
never even
No.
we didn't table it on it.
That's right. We didn't
So
table
what we have to do is take that thing and we can change the amount or whatever we want on it and read it for the first time whenever we want to do it. If you want to do it that way, or we can do a completely new ordinance number and different amount. But it never happened. The ordinance number is still hanging there. I mean, they skipped it, went on to another number. So I mean,
Did we skip it, or did we just make the next one that number?
No, because we already had others after.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So as far as I know, that number is just hanging there, so, I mean, we could take it, if it's different, and have Lynn change the amount from 6 to 5, 4, 3, whatever we want to make it.
And find out when we have to order something to get it here before what, March, April. It's probably not.
Well, even if you bring it up in 2012, then you go on.
Well, the plan
Oh,
was
we don't?
to
Yeah.
start January 1, but that's
Yeah,
certainly not doable, so.
If it's never been introduced.
You know, I'm flexible, but part of the year is better than not at all.
Maybe I can just blow you out of the water on Monday and have it
There you go.
dealt with. You know?
What's that?
I
That'd
said
be
maybe
great.
I can just blow you out of the water with $5,000 next Monday. That would be great, right?
No.
I'll see what I can do.
And folks, a few phone calls wouldn't help, or it wouldn't hurt a thing. If you could let the mall manager know that she's coming over to.
Yeah.
It
He
would
did
sure
me a
be
really
appreciated.
nice letter, and I made some copies of it so I can leave one with whomever I speak
Okay.
with. So,
Well, you talk to a lot of folks, spread the word, please.
but I will. I'll get out.
Holly Dozier is her name.
Okay.
I'm sure she's fairly busy right now this time of year,
Yeah.
but Holly Dozier is her name. Hey,
That's all I
I may have missed this as I was making copies. Do we have information instead of the NA?
Yes,
Okay, what is that?
19,123,
19,123,
or I'm sorry, 5, I can't read my own writing.
19,125.
For the month, and year-to-date is 135,400.
All right, thanks.
Which is down from last year.
Yeah, down a little bit.
Okay.
Hey, there's the one right there.
Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we continue on with the fire.
Hey, Chief, before you start there,
5:45.
Nick, weren't you clean shaven last week?
It was the week before.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Scoot down a little bit.
I spent all your money, I mean, you saved on overtime, so.
You say you spent it?
I spent, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we're here.
Yeah, you saved. Okay, does anybody need a copy? No, has been no changes. Fire report, you can see, 38 for the month of November versus 37 the previous year. 360 versus 422, we're up 62 fire calls. EMS, 120 versus 128, 1509, 1679, we're up 170 EMS calls over this time last year. And transport, 75 versus 85. Totals, we're up 161 transports over this time last year. We usually average about 330,000 a year, and I know Linda, and it was funny, we were comparing notes the other day. I had figured 375, and she had figured 373. We hadn't compared notes, so we're close, and at the rate we're going, figuring conservatively, we're probably looking over 380 this year as far as based on just an average that comes out of EMS billing. Of course, that being said, no legislative requests, monthly expense report, 92,970, but there was 3 pays in November. November overtime, 40,754, and a yearly total of 276,436.81. You can see compared to November of last year, 17,000 versus the 40. Total for the year 204 versus 276. So I spent everything that you saved and more. Questions on any of that? And of course, Coslow will be off for the remainder of the year. We've had down Jeff Davis, under personnel, Skip, but Andy Baughman starts tomorrow. So that'll help, and he will be, before the end of the year, we'll have him eligible for overtime
In the rotation.
in the rotation, so he'll be counted because
Second residence of Poplar PA. North off Cherry Horse, 20 north off Oak Line, Ability River Oaks. East Mitigate, Tier 3 Avalon Drive, Poplar PA. To the Cap Clear 1748.
it's a possible stroke. Okay.
Andy was one of the first group of candidates that we interviewed for the open position that we had in the fire department. He had served the department for a number of years as a volunteer, up to about, I don't know, a year or so ago maybe, when he took a job, a full-time job with the department in the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area. He was looking for an opportunity to move back from the area. Perhaps it's a nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there. I don't know. When our position became open, so he applied. He interviewed very strongly. He was not the only candidate who did. However, we went with the decision to hire him. As the chief indicated, his familiarity with our department and its equipment and its processes will greatly reduce the learning curve of when he would be able to be counted as part of the full-time crew, be eligible just as any of the other ones for overtime shifts and things like that. What? How long did it take Doug? 6 months?
He was a slow learner, so.
No, I know he wasn't. Was it 6 months?
No. We usually run them several months, and it's kind of base it on the captain.
Yeah.
We usually send them over to Station 2 and
work a few shifts out of that. Biggest thing, of course, learning operation of the equipment and things, and Andy had already, we were sending him out as a second person while he was still here. He was our most active volunteer, so I'm planning on working him 3 or 4 shifts. And
then have him in the rotation.
Turning him loose. We'll see how that plays out, but very, very short period of time. He grew up in Heath. He knows the streets, Doug did and stuff, so very short time.
Cletus remembers how good Doug is, but it did take Doug a while to get up to speed on everything so that the crew could utilize him just as, you know, one of the other personnel. And with Andy, we think that will be greatly reduced time.
So yeah, before the end of the year, we'll have him be counted and such. So
About 25.
Yeah, about that.
Lives
That's fine. I
over
recognize
on
the name
Blue
from-
Jay Road. His dad's got about 2 shifts left at Newark, and he'll be retired. So anyway, good kid. So anyway, I kind of went out of line. Under equipment, Rescue 6. Of course, everything. Under old business, my maintenance account is an overage, and that being said, equipment, the touchpad shifter on, we all about choked on this one, the shifter on Rescue 6, and it's just a little, you know, touchpad forward, reverse, and all that. $2,611 to replace that, and we actually replaced it ourselves.
What is it? A touchpad
This
that
is just
controls?
it's the transmission shift pad that forward, reverse, neutral, and such. It was bad, and we were having to hit it hard. It wasn't working sometimes. The truck wasn't going into gear. We kept the truck in gear, but they were taking a pin and having to push down in it. The pad was bad.
Contacts are bad.
Yeah. Right, but they finally, it took us several days to get the pad, overnight, but it took us several days to get the pad, and it was $2,611 to replace it, and we installed it ourselves.
Wow. Does it work?
Yes. Fine and dandy, about 4 screws, 2 bolts, and a ribbon, computer ribbon type thing in the back of it.
Those are the things left over after you put it in?
Number 8 siren, there's 2 sirens, 4 speakers. It was kind of unusual to have 2 speakers go bad the same day, but they did. We replaced those. That was $700. Overhead projector, our little Elmo overhead that we would be using for pre-plans. The plug on it broke internally, and that's going to be $378.
Is that in the training room area?
Yes.
Yeah.
And tires for number 7, which the captain's, it's a chase vehicle for EMS and such, but $990 for that. That being said, the maintenance account was overdrawn $5,490, and these expenses are on top of that, so we're going to be over about $10,000 in the maintenance this year. And it's hard for me to give you an answer because there's multiple blanket accounts that come out of these accounts that, depending upon the money that's left for the NAPA account and some of this stuff, that will be going back into that to offset some of these costs. But it's going to be a $10,000 approximate overage.
Linda will work on that to have it in the cleanup ordinance.
And the EMS is about $8,000 too. And I mean, that stuff just.
Tires are going out of sight.
Yes, they have.
It cost me almost that much for my car last week.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought last ones for mine. I think I went through Walmart or whatever, shopped around, and at the time it was a good deal, and it was still around $800.
You said the EMS account's about 8,000.
And once again, until we get to the end of the year and close out the blankets and such. So anyway, that being said, oh, good news. But Andy Bachman is good news. The lifting bags are here and on the truck. That was money out of the fire levy account. And fire levy one's, equipment account's gonna have thousands of dollars coming back, but, you rob Peter to pay Paul. Some of these accounts you've got got general fund accounts. I've got fire levy one that buys the big ticket items, and it will have some money coming back in. And then fire levy two, and I know it's a couple $1,000s in the hole right now. But the old business, as I said, maintenance accounts over. I don't have any really new business right now. The only other thing I have to report is Marge Taylor, being treated for lung cancer. I don't know whether Marge Taylor was Rick's wife.
Was he the fire chief just
Yes.
before you?
That's correct. Rick was our fire inspector and then chief for about 5 years prior to my rise to power.
Martin,
I'm surprised they're not
is
outside
getting all the
kicking.
flags on 79.
It's like they are in Syria. I'm sorry.
I said Martin was the one that instigated getting all the flags on 79 for all the national holidays.
Did you say that she is being treated for?
She is,
Lung
chemo and
cancer?
radiation for lung cancer. I know she had a chemo, finished the first round just around Thanksgiving and was pretty beat up, and then radiation. I get my reports from Watercutter, and Rick sends, keeps in touch with Jim. And, so anyway, I mean, a lot of us knew her at one time. But
Do you run like a computer store or something?
Yes.
Computer repair? Yeah, that's where I've met him.
they've since moved that operation. It's either 36th or 39th Street over by the hospital. They've got a house, and he's running the computer business out of his residence. So if anybody looking, I've got Marge's phone number, but we wish her well and keep her in your prayers. Other than that, that is all I have to report right now. Any questions?
Did the weather sirens ever get worded all over?
The weather sirens, that's a thing that's in the works. They were given the go-ahead, and I reported, I think last time, that it was a couple thousand less. It would be like $3,700. I should have that money in this year's budget. I do have that money this year, but I haven't written a purchase order yet. But yeah,
In the
go ahead, they
2012
have to-
budget?
I'm sorry,
In the 2012 budget?
in the 2012 budget.
Okay. When, do you anticipate being able to do that purchase order sometime this week?
Yeah.
Okay,
I know the 14th or whatever is a cutoff.
yeah,
I've got to look up, Mayor, exactly what the dollars and cents was
okay. That's,
on that quote or
I just wanna
whatever.
make sure we get that over
They're
to
already
Linda.
given the go-ahead, and they have to order those components, and with everybody in the country, they've got all the information that they need, and then they will go around. They don't need our ladder truck because it's in the boxes that are reachable by a step ladder or whatever, and they know to replace that stuff. So, 2 of which will be a couple $100. The rest of it, like $800, and 4 out of the 6. So yeah, it's in the works.
It's then whether we were gonna do it this year or next year, which, made a difference whether we finalized it or not.
Right. But yeah, I've got the money this year, and plan on. They were told to do it, so it's in the works.
Just another perhaps matter for public safety concern. On Saturday night, Sunday morning, our water distribution crew worked on a main break. They're just south of Meritor, kind of in between Meritor and that quick lube place there at Matthews. And we tried to put enough fill in there to open that right-hand lane. And unfortunately, because of the rain that we've had, it's like a sponge. It was just not working. So we are going to have that lane closed. Again, this is the right-hand lane heading northbound on 79 before you get to Meritor. we're gonna have that spot there closed, that lane closed there. After tonight, it's not supposed to rain anymore. It's not supposed to rain any tomorrow. It's not supposed to rain any Wednesday. Our hope is that on Wednesday, we can try to do something, if it's concrete or whatever, that can be a more solid patch for that hole, so that we can open the lane up, and then when the asphalt plant's open, we'll have to, asphalt that patch. But anyway, just so that you're aware of that, northbound traffic on 79 north of Hopewell is going to be backed up. I'm sure it'll back up some traffic south of Hopewell too, but that's where the spot's at.
Too big for steel plate?
It is, and then also, we would need, we'd have to pack some cold patch around there to keep the plate from sliding around.
Shelley just laid those plates down and then put asphalt around them.
But if you go around there, what he said, that's a curve there, and he said today that the trucks go around there, it gets scooted off. It wasn't a curve, because that pavement kind of slopes that way a little bit.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm sure there's already thought of this, but use fast set concrete and then put about 3 inches from where you get to the top, put a sheet of plastic down, then pour the rest of the concrete on top of that. And then that way when you asphalt, you just come in, just chip that top 3 inches right off, put asphalt on.
Okay.
It's done.
That's what he said today, what?
And that's this.
I'm trying to, I think that was, I don't remember the plastic part of it though.
Yeah, he said.
Was that what they said?
Put plastic
Okay.
between it, gives you a bond breaker.
Okay.
Do they ever, you pin landscape timbers and all that, can't they put holes in the steel plates and push large rebar or anything like that down
I
in
think
there?
the Pinnacle was just talking about what he had available, They even kicked to the mark, and they said something about the contractor might have some, but.
And I've just seen them, they always talk about the big steel plates moving with the traffic.
Yeah.
I don't know why you can't.
And the problem with pinning is if the pins
Shoot.
up.
Now you're gonna have punctured tires.
They'll work their way up.
Because if you go from that line, that's till today, from, pick you through the line there, until they get onto the expressway, and they're going from 45 up to 75 before they get there, so they're moving along pretty good.
Anything else?
Short and sweet.
Nothing, adjourned at,
Thanks, guys.
10:30 Thursday.
Yeah, and then Wednesday, you guys figure out what you're doing Wednesday.
11 o'clock here,
Thursday
Yes.
start at
11 o'clock here.
11 o'clock?
11 o'clock here.
Okay.
Found out in my notes today, to figure out what that.
It starts at 1. It starts at 1. There's no lunch for us there, so we either,
be there at 12:45 to register.
yeah. So we can either,
45.
I'd say either eat or we can grab something and
Thursday, do I
and
have
then
one
go or
Thursday?
something. I don't know.
45 automatic.
I hope to be there, yes.
That's
hot in here. There's that meeting.
Kohler was the
It's
last
like
one,
74.
He's,
I'm planning on being there, but right now I'm planning on going to the casino.
That's, yeah.
12:30, what time you gonna get there?
Yeah, we'll probably get there about 12:30.